The most humorous case of cheating you've ever seen.
French class. Kid used ChatGPT to write his personal narrative. Didn't bother to translate it to ensure the response made sense. The response literally read in French. I am an artificial intelligence system. I don't have family and friends to share about. I once had a student turn in the exact same paper his sister wrote 5 years before. I knew for 2 reasons. She had a very unique writing style, and he answered the essay prompt for her class, not his. I changed them out every year. Gave it back to him with 0 out of 100. You did not write this. Parent requested a meeting about it. Asked to see proof he didn't write it. So I handed them a copy of his work and a copy of his sister's. I said, I think you'll find these are identical. Also, while her work did a wonderful job addressing the topic I gave her class, his class was not given the same assignment. I looked across the table and could see the kid's soul leave his body and the extreme disappointment in his parents' faces. Before they got up to leave, his mother said, he accepts fully the consequences of his actions and hopes he won't be expelled for this. Then looked at her son and asked if he could use the office conference room to call his sister and apologize to her. It wasn't a test or anything, just bookwork. One student asked to go to the bathroom, but had to wait their turn. When I called their name to let them go to the bathroom, they panicked and shouted, I'm not cheating! We just had one. A coworker caught a kid using AI when she had printed it out right before lunch and brought it into the staff room. The paper had words like moniker in it. Another coworker told the English teacher she's like Rumpelstiltskin turning straw into gold if the low-achieving students are writing that well. We all had a good laugh. She asked the kid what those words meant, and he, shockingly, didn't know what they meant. High school final, 2008. Called home. I believe your son copied his answer off the girl next to him. How do you know she didn't copy off him? Let me read you his answer. I don't really care about this test. I'm on my period today, and my boyfriend is still trying to get it, even though this will be dealt with. We had a graduated student doing homework for current students for money, had 7 kids all submit the same final paper, like literally the exact same, right down to spelling mistakes and repeated specific word use. When I called one of them out on it, he got pissed and told me how so-and-so was selling papers and whatnot on Snapchat. While we couldn't do anything to the kid selling the papers, a quick call to his university got him put on academic probation real fast. This was a few years ago, pre-AI. A student submitted an essay on a contemporary novel that not only didn't even answer the prompt, but was clearly pulled from a simple Googling of the novel. And the kicker? It was a word-for-word review from Goodreads that I wrote. Hyperlinks still in the text are always a classic. Once when I was a student, I had to do a group assignment. One of my group members copied and pasted verbatim from Wikipedia. I figured it out due to all the in-text hyperlinks. I gathered my group members together and confronted him with the evidence. He responded by launching an online doxing and smear campaign against me. I sought legal advice to deal with that bugger. The other group members somehow managed to get him to back down and apologize before I could go any further. It's been 15 years. He is still dead to me. Had one pull out a full notebook page cheat sheet, not being covert at all, paper crinkling and everything. The whole class looked at them like they had 2 heads. My favorite was students were doing a DNA codon worksheet where they had to decipher one message and then encode their own. And these 2 boys, who never did any work, were working on the assignment quite fervently. While working, they had one of their Chromebooks open and were looking at it while working. I assumed they were just watching basketball highlights or something, and because they literally never did any work, I didn't want to ruin a good thing. Well, when they both handed in their worksheets, at the same time, of course. They had decoded the message perfectly, but had the same exact message encoded on the bottom. Student answers may vary. Last year, I included a question on some assignments like initial here to indicate that this is your own work. I had at least 5 kids copy down their neighbor's work, including the other kids' initials. When I was at school, a guy in my class put all of his French homework through Google Translate. Our teacher marked it and said something along the lines of, "It was really good, Dave, but there was only one problem. Yours was in Spanish." He'd forgotten to change the settings from when his older brother had used it to cheat on his own homework. Some names have been changed to protect identities. On the same assignment, another kid did the same, and Google Translate took what he wrote so literally. It gave banana division instead of banana split. At a final, one-to-one tuition session with students ahead of the end of session exam, one walked in, sat at my desk, and placed his iPad on the Surface. It was switched on. The exam was on it. The exam that was supposed to be safely locked up in our director's safe and only brought out on the day of the exam. I kept my cool and quietly excused myself and went to the director to discuss the issue. Turned out the student had a relative working high up in the Education Bureau. I was told that this was one of those times we chose to forget the whole incident. The political power of that relative was too great to raise the issue. The students took the exam, and the lad's laziness bit him in the rear. He didn't actually read the exam paper properly. All the papers were graded, and he scored the lowest in the year. We all had a good laugh and made an agreement to never speak about it again. Had a student turn in a poem that read like this: "I know I can be what I want to be. If I work hard at it, I'll be where I want to be." I quickly recognized the lyrics, wrote, "Maybe next time, Naz," at the top of his paper, called home, talked to him, and he straight up denied copying the lyrics of the song. I was like, dude, I'm not dumb. I know Nas lyrics. He still denied it. He got a 0. I didn't even bother proceeding with writing him up for plagiarism because it was so absurd to me. Senior student copied and pasted a storyboard assignment over Le Mort de Arthur from Google and submitted it. Copied assignment had the original student's name in the first frame. Clearly Asian. My student was a black kid named Julian. When I Googled Le Mort de Arthur storyboard, it was one of the first ones to pop up. Dude got a 0 that failed him for the second semester. His first semester grade wasn't high enough for him to average out, so he had to do summer school and graduate in the summer.
This is all for today, but the magic continues in our next video. Don't forget to subscribe and support us for more heartwarming content. Together, we'll keep the conversation alive. Until next time, stay connected and stay inspired.